Mm-hmm. Okay. Move us on to the pre-show. Play the thing.
This is where I'd put one if I had it, but
I just need to make one and give it to you.
Yeah, you probably do.
Okay. Well, I traveled this past week, and it was terrible. I left at like 5 o'clock or something on Wednesday, and I didn't get to Wisconsin until 2 a.m.
It's a long time.
And then we left, and we got on the plane, and we're sitting on the plane, and you buckle up, and they're about to close the door, and the pilot says, yeah, so... I'm going to see if I can do a Wisconsin accent. Hold on. Oh, listen here, eh? No, that's not it.
Today is St. Patrick's Day, so that fits for a different reason.
It's like, the radio tower in Chicago's down, y'all. Don't you know? We're just going to have to sit on this plane for 2 hours, don't you know? And
you're a Midwest leprechaun pilot.
I'm really bad at accents. Oh boy, it's criminal.
Yeah. I can't believe you're subjecting people to that.
Jeez. Okay. Anyway, we wait for 2 hours on the plane.
It's a long time. Was it because of the wind? Because it was really windy.
Yeah, the wind knocked out the radar.
Crazy.
So they fix it. Oh, delayed in Chicago. Anyways, the whole thing. I texted you right before I left, and I said, Daniel, I don't think I'm going to bring my camera this time.
Yeah. And I was like, are you feeling okay?
You're like, you're not bringing any cameras? And I was like, well, I've already packed my cam snap, and I was thinking about bringing a film camera, but I just meant like my interchangeable lens camera.
And then you spent like 4 more messages trying to like further explain that situation. You were like, normally if I take the X-T5, I wouldn't take these other cameras, but I'm just thinking that like I'm probably not going to take the X-T5, and the camp snap's probably enough, but I also want to take this film camera, so I'm trying to use this film. And it's like, are you trying to convince me or yourself?
You're just like, I don't care. I just super don't care.
I went to bed at some point. You're still sending messages about these cameras.
Whatever. Anyways, I brought only the cam snap. This is the point. And boy, Daniel, does that take terrible pictures.
But like good terrible or bad terrible?
Somewhere in the middle. Some of them were just truly awful, and then some of them were a little vibey.
Was it the right choice for the trip you were on?
I don't know.
Like, were there situations where you wanted to take pictures and you were kind of bummed out about not having a better camera?
No, I just kind of took pictures that I could, but it was part of the right camera. I took some pictures of like downtown La Crosse. Oh, they're all terrible. They're all just horrible. Oh, I've been using the it's like the Kodachrome one. Was it Kodacolor or Camp whatever film simulation? That one's been fun. But anyways, there's not really much to that in that pre-show there, Daniel. It's mostly that I took the camp snap, and once again, photos were all vibes, no quality.
So you're like, I'm just trying to I'm trying to understand whether you regret this decision or not. Like, do you think that for this type of trip in the future, like, do you think that that's a good camera?
No,
to take,
I wouldn't have changed anything. I kind of would have liked to have the Pentax, honestly, but I don't. I just, after the whole traveling to Europe with film, because you convinced me to do it last minute. So suggestible.
Yeah, going through the airport scanner was kind of a pain, isn't it?
Unpleasant. It would have added extra complexity. So I'm glad I didn't bring the Pentax, but I still would honestly prefer, if I could find a way. I think that there's a one of those trendy brands that sells little lead bags for your film.
I'm sure the TSA wouldn't care about that.
Look, what's this?
What's in this bag that we can't see on our X-ray scanner? I'm sure that won't.
Don't worry about it.
That won't raise any suspicion.
The guy I was with was like, "Oh, you brought a camera, man. You know, it's cool to like bring. Sometimes you just want to take good pictures. You know, it's nice to have you're like a real camera." I'm like, "You don't understand. This is a toy."
You're like, "My phone takes substantially better pictures."
Yeah, you're like, not even close.
This is honestly like what the GR is perfect for.
It
is
sure.
that small, but it takes reasonably good pictures.
Now it won't fit in your pocket.
Yep. Yep.
Shame I didn't buy that from you.
Camp Snap just fits around your neck.
It's just more my speed. I just like bad things.
Welcome back to the Camera Gear Podcast. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Lucas.
And we're here today to talk about the gear, software, and techniques we use to shoot photos and video.
I do wish I could get off Camp Snap's marketing emails.
That is usually impossible.
They sent me a new color It's like for St. Patty's Day or something. Yeah, guys, I'm
Like
not
you
gonna,
already have one. You're not
Like,
gonna buy another one in a different color.
I mean, yes, collecting cameras sounds cool, but I don't want a bunch of cam snaps.
Yeah, it'd be kind of weird if you had like 6 of them on the shelf.
The only time I would buy another cam snap is if we were going to be in another water situation and they hadn't released a water enclosure for the Pro.
What if they come out with Camp Snap Pro Max?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I'm satiated at this point. Yeah, I don't think I need a Pro Max version.
What I really want to know is, are you gonna and maybe this is a bit of a dare, but I think the next time we go on a trip together, you should only take the Camp Snap.
Daniel? No.
You don't think so?
Because the next trip we're going to go on together is to NAB.
I think that'd be so perfect.
No.
You're just walking around NAB with your little Camp Snap on your 3-inch necklace situation and just taking pictures of all the things.
I am going to bring it. And I do think there is a little bit of a power move to walk up to a table and be like, oh, hey, yeah, no, Camera Gear Podcast. Yeah, can I take a picture of that?
Yes, please.
Really, just flash.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize there was no flash photography.
I do love that idea.
It's ridiculous. I should wear the Camp Snap and the Pentax 17 around my neck.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them at the same time.
But then you pull out like a third camera to take other pictures.
That'd be the best part. Again, like I just like if I can get one of those shorter neck straps, like the new rope straps from Peak Design, and I can wear one like at the chest level and one right below it, so they're just vertically over each other, and then I pull out a different camera.
Yes. Please do that.
It's too perfect.
It is. It is.
Nice.
Yep. But yeah, we are going to NAB.
This is very exciting for us, Daniel.
Exciting.
Never been to NAB before.
Didn't think that was going to happen.
This podcast is going places.
Apparently. And one of those places is Las Vegas.
People keep writing in and saying, really? Camp Snap?
They do. That is a common feedback we get. That and things like it's been 15 minutes and they're still talking about bike pedals.
Sure. Yep. Mm-hmm. Who are these jokers?
Yep.
Raving reviews.
Yes.
Despite that, we've somehow weaseled our way in to getting press passes going to NAB.
Just let anybody in those things these days, I guess.
Literally anybody.
Yeah.
This is all just very exciting for me, Daniel.
Yeah. I can't wait to see you at that show. And just, I feel like you're just going to pass out as soon as you walk in and see all those booths.
I know people don't want to hear us gushing. This is like a dream come true. Like a camera dream come true.
Camera dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
If we were still doing funny titles for these episodes, that would be a good one.
You know, I'm like really into tech stuff. And I always follow like CES coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And there was someone that I work with. Her husband was like works for one of those tech companies and has had to go to CES like every year. And she was talking to me about he's like complains about that he has to go to this thing because he doesn't want to go because it's like a work trade show and blah blah blah. And I know for certain NAB is like that for probably most of the people who are there, where they're just like, ugh, I have to like go to this thing for work. And I'm over here like, woo!
It's going to be like Disneyland for you.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be so good.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped.
Really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So we're going to probably have all kinds of great stuff to talk about after that in terms of like.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, we'll get to see a lot of things hands-on and like hopefully get to talk to some people and stuff. So I think it's going to be fun.
Mucho exciting.
Yep.
All right. What's this next thing?
Well, let's see. The very next thing on the list actually, I think kind of relates nicely to NAB. So it ain't cheap going to things like that. And just a reminder for everybody that we have affiliate links in the show notes if you want to support us. And we also have the Patreon, which you'll hear more about later in the show. So, you know, if you want to help us be able to afford to go to NAB, please do.
There's not. Can you? There's not gonna be an affiliate link for a Nikon D5, right? Like,
is it still for sale? Can you still buy it?
Like, can you buy a Nikon D5?
Can you buy a new Nikon D5 from B&H? Let's see.
Do you think that the Nikon D5?
Dude, it's on there. It's on there.
That's like a pre-show thing. I forgot that that's in the Patreon thing. Some people don't know that we talked about the D5 in the Patreon.
You know
pre-show.
what? There will be an affiliate link for the Nikon D5 in this week's show notes.
$1,900.
Hey man, it's got dual XQD slots. Whatever those
not
are.
even real cards at this point. Okay, look, this thing goes to 3 million ISO and can shoot pictures in space. Not everyone's really going to space unless you're hopping on a Blue Origin thing, and then like the cost of a D5 is not
and
gonna
that's
be-
arguably
Sure.
not space. So I don't know.
So equivalent cameras, XT5 is probably about this much. You could buy a Z5 from Nikon. You could buy a Canon Canon R6 Mark II. You could buy a Lumix S5 Mark II for D5 money. I mean, are you picking any of those cameras over this?
Absolutely not. I'm picking the Nikon D5 because it's got that 3 million ISO,
That's what I'm saying.
20 megapixels.
Mhm. There are at least 2 buttons on the front of this camera. 3 buttons, I'm
Yeah.
counting.
I mean, it's got a built-in battery grip.
Mm-hmm. Man, this thing probably weighs more than 5 kittens.
You think so?
Yeah.
More than 5 kittens.
I don't know how much 5 kittens weigh, but
We're gonna find out.
I bet that they weigh less than.
Man, there's no weight. There's no weight in
They
these.
literally don't list the weight. It's because it weighs infinite, Daniel. Or if you put it on one of those Edelchrome tripods, it weighs nothing.
This camera came out before before humanity had the ability to measure weight.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, pre 2016 when nothing weighed anything.
Yep. Are you looking up the weight?
I was going to, but then I stopped.
Please do that. That's important.
All right. Well, do you want to tell me about this next thing?
Well,
I do
no,
that?
I think we need to make sure we cover this.
Right. So just stop everything.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. According to this AI overview, because that's obviously true,
Mhm.
for 1,415 grams,
Which is what is that about?
3.1 ulbs.
All right. Well, if we were to weigh 5 kittens, if they were a week old, that would be about 1.1 pounds total. So that's we're talking like 15 or more kittens.
You said 1.1 pounds
Yeah,
for a kitten.
for 5
5 kittens. Oh yeah, 15 kittens. We're
Mhm.
talking 15
Yep.
kittens.
But a kitten is a broad range. I mean, that's like a new kitten. If we're talking like a 6-month-old kitten, at that point, your 5 kittens is over 20 pounds. So
Okay, so maybe like 2 kittens.
yeah, like one kitten.
1 kitten.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a kitten or a Nikon D5?
Depends on the day, I think. Most days, Nikon D5.
Correct answer.
Yeah.
So stupid. All right. What's this? We got more Nikon news. This is the biggest Nikon episode.
Nikon cast.
Jeez, last week when I was like, the answer's always Nikon. Turns out the whole next show is going to be about Nikon.
Well, funny thing is, you would kind of set the show up with all this stuff, and I saw this earlier, and I was like, we've got a lot of people who listen to this show that shoot Nikon. We should talk about this. Didn't even realize it was related. But yeah, basically Nikon, kind of a vaguely announced, like what they call a technical service advisory.
I think that they call them TSAs. Do you think Nikon knows what a TSA is?
I'm not sure if they do. For the Z6 Mark III, Z5 Mark II, and ZR, saying that there is some quote unquote hardware issue that may cause them to fail. And there's some stuff where you can check and see if your camera is affected. It seems like it must have just been like one production run or something, but basically like you can look at the serial number in your camera and see if it's in the affected range. And if it is, you can send it in and they will provide repair free of charge, regardless of the warranty.
We have confirmed a manufacturing issue with certain Z6 Mark III, Z5, Z2 Mark II, and ZR cameras, which may cause the cameras to become inoperable.
Mm-hmm. So if you have anyone in your life who has a Nikon Z6 Mark III, Z5 Mark II, or ZR, you should let them know about this because they might need to get their camera fixed.
Well, I know one person.
You do, and that's part of why I mentioned this.
I will let that person know, and he will be sad.
He probably already knows.
What?
He is up on the camera news.
We have covered this before. He's got a pulse on it.
He really does. He probably has a Nikon rep, and his Nikon rep has probably already reached out to him to proactively replace his camera just in case it was one of the affected ones.
Look, I know that I don't shoot Nikon other than the D5 that I'm going to buy eventually. How come I don't have a Nikon rep?
I mean, I would think that you would just, from it being like a familial legacy.
Look, if I had any goals coming out of NAB, it's to have a Nikon rep.
Like not Fujifilm,
I mean, sure, like, yeah, I'd take the Fuji thing, whatever.
Not Blackmagic.
Love Fuji.
Just
I mean, love Blackmagic
Nikon.
too. They're all good. All the camera companies, they're all good cameras, Brent. If I could walk away with like a Nikon business card,
You'd be flying pretty high.
we just email each other.
Yeah.
Like,
Just for fun. Just to share some pictures you've taken lately.
anything cool coming up?
Yeah.
You want to see this picture? Took it with my D5.
D5 with a super zoom.
Oh, that's my future.
Yes, it is. All right. Yeah. So just a PSA if anybody is affected by that.
Cool. I have another topic on here, but we have gone aggressively long with some of this. So I'm going to skip this topic, save it for later.
Fine.
And I think you should just play the plug, and then we're going to dive into a couple cool things.
I don't think we should talk about the Canon compact thing before we.
Oh, is that still in here?
Yeah, it's
Oh my
still-
gosh, Janet,
let's
we
talk
have
about
so many things to cover.
Let's talk about that.
Okay. This is much fun. So during, what was it, CP Plus,
Mhm.
Canon was like, hey, compact digital cameras, we're making a new one. Don't you love Canon? Canon. Look at these
That's an interesting marketing jingle.
look at these stinking, top down, blah, blah, blah camera that we're never going to sell. Woo. And then in addition to that, they said, hey, listen, everybody, we've picked our favorite top 12 compact cameras.
How many of those cameras were made by Canon?
All 12. Like we've
kind of respect the confidence.
We've considered the market. We know every camera that's a compact digital camera that's been made, and we've picked the 12 best.
And it turns out they're all Canon.
Who would have thunk it?
Who indeed?
And so I wanted to go through the list of the 12 best compact cameras.
Sounds good.
Number 1. Should we go number 1 first? I'm going to go to the bottom.
Yeah, let's start at number 12.
Okay, number 12 is the Canon PowerShot G3X, released in 2015. This bad boy has a zoom lens on it, a 24 to 600 millimeter equivalent.
Jeez.
That's some zoom on it there, Daniel. It's a 20.2 megapixel 1-inch sensor, and it can go to 12,800 ISO.
Yeah.
Weather sealed.
That is a plus. Pretty good feature.
Pretty good little compact camera.
Mm-hmm.
Quote unquote compact. I don't think it's very small.
Yeah, it doesn't look. I mean, it doesn't look pocketable.
It's like micro 4/3 size.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a micro 4/3 sensor, but it's not size.
Lens sticks out pretty far.
A little bit. Maybe you want something a little smaller. Maybe number 11 on your list, the Canon PowerShot A5, released in 1998.
That one does look a lot more pocketable.
Is super tiny. The lens collapses completely into the body. It's a 5mm f2.5 lens. And this is it's a pretty small little camera.
Yeah, 0.81 megapixel, 1/3 inch CCD sensor.
I think it's like the equivalent of a 35mm. And for all you CCD lovers out there,
From what I hear,
this might be it.
From what I hear, it delivers a pleasing result despite its lack of pixels. That sounds like something that camera companies say whenever it does not deliver a pleasing result.
0.81 megapixels. What do you think takes better photos? A Canon PowerShot A5 or a CamSnap?
I honestly think it's probably a toss-up.
All right. Well, maybe that's not your speed. Maybe released in 2026, the 30th anniversary PowerShot G7X Mark III, which I don't think is the only G7X on this list.
I think I was gonna say it's a little shameful that the one they have just released only made it to the top 10.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Well, that's why they're prioritizing making one this year, Daniel. They want to make a number 1 compact digital camera.
I bet they will by their numbers.
I mean, these things have been selling like hotcakes, man. A little 20 megapixel, 24 to 100 equivalent, whatever, 1-inch sensor. Just G7X, man.
Yeah, G7X.
People love them. Can't keep them on the shelves.
What else we got? What's next?
Okay, number 9, PowerShot G9X Mark II, a 2017 camera. This one, a little smaller than G7X.
Yeah, I kind of like the look of that one.
Basically the same sensor, but it's a 28 to 84 equivalent.
Yeah, I mean, it looks a little bit smaller.
Not too bad. Want something even smaller? You got the PowerShot SD20 coming in at number 8, released in 2004.
Why does the description say the naming conventions are out of control with this one?
It was called the digital I can't do it, Daniel. I think it's LXUS I5 and the IXI Digital L2 in Japan.
Why does this description say that it has refined catwalk looks?
I think it's because you shoot it vertically.
I think these people have been looking at cameras too long.
I think we've been looking at cameras too long. Number 7 is the PowerShot ELPH ELPH 185, released in 2017. This one is also named differently in Europe and Japan.
Hey, it has an easy auto mode.
Look, this thing came out in 2017, but still released with a CCD sensor.
Impressive.
That's like one of the newest CCD sensors on this list. 20 megapixels.
20 megapixels, yeah.
This actually seems pretty neat. I would not complain about having the opportunity to shoot on a Canon PowerShot ELF 185.
Like if you saw that one on a shelf in a Japan camera store.
I mean, this is the problem. Like we went to, probably not exaggerating, hundreds of camera stores in Japan.
Yeah, not exaggerating at all.
Tens of camera stores. Probably. And like you start looking at all the little compact digital cameras, and if you don't know,
they kind of all run together.
It's hard to find the diamonds in the rough.
Mm-hmm.
And so you gotta know, like, what are the top 5 point and shoots that I'm really looking for? Yep. Which one's got that juicy CCD that everybody wants? I
mean, if one were to have a list of the top 12, that would be pretty helpful. And we seem like
here they are. Here. They're right here.
Yep.
I'm actually looking for a PowerShot ELF. I found a PowerShot ELF 360, but that is not what this is.
That is not the same thing.
So, well, I'll keep looking. I'm having trouble finding one. This might be it. $480.
It's a little steep.
A little steep. All right, number 6 on the list. Canon PowerShot S120, released in 2013.
Lightning quick, 12 frame per second shooting.
That's not slow, Daniel. It's a 24 to 120 equivalent. That's pretty good.
It had Wi-Fi, which I do feel like is like sort of impressive for 2013.
There's another camera we're going to talk about today that had Wi-Fi.
Okay.
And that one was from 2002.
Whoa.
I know. And then here it is, Daniel. Canon PowerShot G7X.
A cult classic from the moment it launched.
Released in 2014. I feel like this one took some dips.
What does that mean?
Like they haven't made one in forever.
Yeah.
2026 doesn't count.
Yeah, I mean, the 2026 is kind of just like a rebadging of the same camera.
This is basically that camera, though. It's still a 1-inch, 20 megapixel with a 24 to 100 equivalent, quote unquote, blistering fast 1.8 to 2. Geez, it's a 1-inch sensor. It's the G7X has not really changed in the last decade. They just keep releasing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's really
it's just so good that it's made this list twice.
Apparently.
You could get number 4 on this list, which is a Canon PowerShot ELPH 360 HS.
The 360 is the one you saw a moment ago.
Or the HSA, which came out in 2025.
I think that's a pretty minor rebrand.
Also a 20.2 megapixel 1-inch sensor. It's a very popular sensor.
Yep.
Number 3, the PowerShot S100 Digital ELF.
This one's old. This is 2000.
Released in 2000. Yep. This is your classic playing deck of cards style little luxurious camera where the lens goes totally flat whenever you turn it off, and it's just super tiny. Stick it in your pocket.
That's like one of the smallest ones on the list, probably.
They don't really make these anymore, right? You can't really get a camera like that.
Yeah, I think it's called a smartphone now.
Yeah, I guess that's true. We got number 2 on the list, the PowerShot SX740HS, released in 2018.
40x zoom, 24 to 960 millimeter equivalent.
That's pretty impressive, Daniel.
Double digital extension to 80x.
Look, honestly, I kind of want one of these. I've been looking for a little compact digital camera that has something like a 20 to 30 power, optical zoom on it, so I can take it to races.
Oh yeah.
Or places where they say, "Oh, you can't bring in a real camera in here," and I have my phone. Really would be nice to have, I don't know, a 40x zoom.
Having any camera like that, like it's just like having a camcorder. You used to do crash zooms on everything.
Oh, like so hard. This is actually on my list, so I'm gonna find me one of these.
Just gonna write that down real quick.
Yep, and then the last one. 2025, PowerShot V1.
I do feel like as far as Canon's compact cameras, this one probably makes sense as being top just because it's, new and seems pretty capable.
It seems like they had to put this one on the top because they're like, what's our most compact camera that we sell right now that's the newest?
Yep.
Like, oh, the PowerShot V1.
Yep.
This is a pretty cool little camera.
It is.
It's nice. Like, it's good. It's good video camera. It's good photo camera. Like, it's just good. It's a nice little tiny camera. I mean, it's borderline compact. Like, it's small, but it's no GR3.
Yeah. Yeah, and it actually has a smaller sensor than the GR3.
Yeah.
1.4 inch sensor.
Yeah. So,
but still, pretty cool camera.
It
does have a zoom lens, which the GR does not have.
And it has built-in ND filters.
Yep. The GR does have that.
Which the GR does have. Yeah. So,
but the video on this, I think, is probably a lot better than the GR.
Ooh.
So if you want video, it's probably a better choice.
If you go to your Abe's of Maine store, you can get a PowerShot SX740HS digital camera for $700.
Abe's of Maine.
I don't know. I mean, I assume this is like a camera store. Oh, they're having a spring sale.
Ooh.
Daniel, we're going on a trip to Maine.
Just stop by there on the way to NAB.
Yep. Just swing on by. It's on the way, right?
That's how geography works.
Yeah. Definitely how it works. Well, hopefully you learned something.
I don't know. I learned what Canon marketing thinks are the best compact Canon cameras from Canon, but I don't know if that actually helps me much.
I don't know if that list would have been my list.
Do you feel like you need to have a list
of my top Canon compact cameras or my top compact cameras?
I think we could do top compact.
You know what, Daniel?
Cameras.
Let's do it. Top 5 compact cameras, and we're going to compare lists.
Add it to the list.
Top 5 compact cameras.
We'll work on that.
Okay, cool. Add it to the list.
All right. Now let's take a break, and then we'll come back for that last topic.
Sweet.
If you'd like to support the Camera Gear podcast, you can subscribe to us on Patreon. It's only $3 a month, and you'll get early access to episodes, longer pre-shows, and occasional bonus content like written reviews of gear or maybe some photos we've taken on one of our recent adventures. This really does help us pay the bills and keeps this show running, and we'd love to have your support. You can find out more at patreon.com/cameragearpodcast, or there's also a link in the description for this episode. Thanks for listening, and now back to the show.
Spoiler, Daniel, there's actually 2 more topics.
I didn't realize that. I just scrolled down far enough to see the one, and now I see it there are 2. We better get started.
Yep. So this first one is a Kickstarter. And
Perfect.
have you seen this thing yet?
I briefly looked at it, but you're going to need to explain it to me because it's pretty confusing.
So this bad boy is what I'm calling a camera for your camera.
Which is a phrase we've used before.
It sounds like something I would have said.
Mm-hmm.
Have we used it before?
I feel like we have. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this one truly is a camera for your camera. I'm looking for the Kickstarter page here. Where are you? Anyway, this is the Ligar. I don't know what they call it. Blend something film. Blah blah blah.
I think that's just the phrase on the Kickstarter.
I don't know what it's called, Daniel.
The company, I guess, is it the camera? But they're saying that whatever this thing is, it blends film and digital creativity.
Okay, it's called the Escura camera.
You sound really confident in that.
I don't know what it's called. I'm just very excited about it, but I don't know what it's called.
Okay.
Anyways, go look at the Kickstarter. Okay, this thing, Daniel. You imagine like a GoPro, smaller. There's this little freaking like 48 by 48 by 48 millimeter cube.
Okay.
So that's
it's pretty small.
It's pretty small.
It's about 2 inches by 2 inches for people in America.
Right. So it's this little cube, and it has a hot shoe on the bottom, and you put it on your film camera. It's got a little screen on the back, and it has a 12 megapixel sensor in it.
From what I hear, delivers stunning 12 megapixel images.
That is correct. Stunning 12 megapixel images. So the concept here is that if you have a film camera and you're just out there shooting,
as one does,
stuff can happen.
Yeah.
Like it can just happen. Daniel. You mean me like light bleed? You messes up pulling through. Maybe the film the film you bought was old or of dubious quality.
Maybe you don't know how to focus that film camera and you end up, getting kind of a blurry photo.
Sure, all kinds of things can happen.
Yep.
And maybe there was a shot that you got that you didn't actually get, and it was super critical. What this thing can do is if your camera has an actual hot shoe that would actuate a flash, it can actuate this camera. So you put the camera on the camera, and whenever you take a picture with your film camera, it takes a picture with the digital camera.
Well, that's kind of cool.
And it's like having a backup. It's very exciting.
It looks like you can also record video on this thing.
Okay, Daniel, you're getting ahead.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
Okay, so it shoots 12 megapixels, which is like, classic iPhone style. It is the equivalent of a 35 millimeter lens.
Okay.
But it's an actually
probably about right if you're going to put it on a film camera.
Yeah. So it's a really small sensor. So it's like a 3.2 millimeter f2.8 lens, but it's the equivalent of 35 millimeters. So super deep field, like everything's going to be in focus. It's not a super, large sensor. You're not going to get like really, really good image quality, but like you're going to get hopefully maybe okay image quality. Yeah. I've looked at some of the photos off of this thing and it's like mediocre, but like at least you got it. Your framing is going to be totally different. Your color is going to be totally different, but it's like kind of a backup.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun. The other thing, it's got a little 17 millimeter filter thread on it. So you can put like your little, your little softening filter or something.
It'd be a really small filter.
They have an accessory, so you can put a 0.5x wide angle lens on it. That way you can
neat.
Make it real wide if you need to. And then use it like 5 minutes ago, but it can shoot video. So it's like the other cool mode for this thing is you can have it so that whenever you go to take the picture, it starts recording video, and then you stop the video by pressing the screen.
And I think there's also a shutter button on this, so if you just want to start recording, you can.
Right.
And the video looks like is 1440 by 1440, so it's square.
Correct. Right. So what I was kind of hoping was that it would shoot maybe like 5-second videos and then stop. It seems like
you get like capture the time around when you.
It's like shooting a live photo.
That'd be pretty
like
cool.
On your phone, whenever you take a picture, like it also takes a video. You could do it with film, and it would be very fun.
That would be fun.
It would also be really annoying to like have to go back and line those puppies up, and it would be kind of cool if you could stack them, like it stacks on your phone. Like do all of that in post, like scan the film and then stack the video.
Well,
and then you could like hold it down and then do the video thing.
I was gonna say something similar, like if it could take you've got the film photo, you have this 5-second video that's from a different camera that's a slightly different angle and stuff. Surely you could feed that into AI and have AI animate the film photo using like the motion data from the video.
That seems too much.
That'd be pretty cool.
I think it's literally just called LiGAR.
I think you're right. I think the camera is called LiGAR.
The name of the company and the name of the camera are the same.
It sounds like a mythical creature, but
it does a little bit.
Yeah.
So shoot photo, shoot video, capture things as backup.
And I mean, you could use this standalone.
It does have, so you can put the 0.5x wide angle adapter on there and get the equivalent of a 28 millimeter.
Okay.
It does have digital zoom on it, which is potentially brutal being that it's only 12 megapixels.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great.
But it does let you do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 times digital zoom, which gives you 50, 65, 75, 85, and 105 millimeters. So technically, if you wanted to match the focal length of your prime lens that you're shooting on, you could say, make it 50 millimeter or 85 millimeter. It's gonna, like, the image quality on this digital camera is gonna be horrible. At a 4x digital zoom, you can get like friggin' 3 megapixel photos. But if you want it to match framing and you want the backup, there is some flexibility there.
There's some neat things you can do with the video in this, because basically you can trigger start and stop either with the camera shutter or with the button on the thing.
Right.
And so they kind of give different examples where it's like you could start recording on the LiGAR and then have it stop recording when you take the photo, which
That'd
would
be
give
cool.
you kind of like a lead up thing.
Sure, it'd be maybe the effect of if the video is less. I mean, it's still whatever 480, but sure, you could like save the shot.
You could do it the other way, where like you can, when you snap the photo, then it starts filming if you want to get what's after it. One cool thing they show that was like you can actually do it where it kind of gets it between, because you could have it start recording when you press the shutter and then stop recording when you press the shutter again. And so like if you're like going around like doing street photography or something, it's like you take a picture and then it starts recording from that point, and then it stops as soon as you take another picture. Kind of, I don't know. I could see people having fun playing with that.
It's kind of a cool thing. I like this in concept. I don't think I would ever actually use one, but it's kind of a cool idea, right? Where, you know, you want some digital component or extra thing related to your film photography, or you want to be able to capture a little bit of kind of video on the side or just that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem I see is like this seems fun to play with. It's hard to imagine buying. The super early bird on the Kickstarter is $125 US. That they're saying the MSRP is like 167.
Yep.
It feels it'd be a little hard to justify paying 170 for this.
Yeah, it's definitely more than a camp snap. So, and I don't know if it's. I mean, there's more to it. It's got like a back screen that you can use, and you can go through the settings and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It does have. Well, it's effectively an Aras dial.
How does that work? I mean, I know what the Aras dial is, but what does it do on here?
You can set it to like 1950 or 60, which are two different black and whites. You can set it to 1970 or 80, which are just different variations of warmth.
We got some sepia going on there.
They got
almost.
90s and Y2K and 2010. Huh. So you just you set it to whatever year you want, and that's effectively just a white balance.
There we go. I mean, it kind of maybe the pictures are all this bad. It kind of looks like it's blowing out the highlights a little bit too.
Yeah, it's not great, but it does take you on a nostalgic journey through time.
Oh,
so
well, that's appealing.
It is very appealing.
Yeah, neat idea. I mean, I'm down with companies doing creative stuff like this. I think it's cool.
Yep. So it seems like if they can raise enough money, they may do some additional things, like they may bring a telephoto lens that you can you know, screw onto the front of it and that sort of thing. But this seems kind of fun. I thought it was a wild.
Were you able to figure
deal.
out like when this is coming?
Yeah, so it looks like they're working through everything. They should have the first prototype by last April. They're kind of up to the third prototype this year, and I mean, tooling samples sometime early this year. So it seems like it's a this year thing.
Yeah, and they have like it's fully funded. It looks like the Kickstarter might end around when this episode comes out. So yeah, I don't know. It's not really clear like when it's coming out, but I agree. It seems like probably a this year thing.
Yeah, but they're through their prototyping timeline, so it seems like once Kickstarter finishes, this may actually happen.
Cool.
Then you can get a camera for your camera. I think you put this thing on a digital camera.
There you go.
That's what I'm thinking. I think you slap it on top of, an X100V or something.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why? I mean, why not?
Turn it around.
That's what you should really do.
Yep.
Get a video of you taking a photo.
Yep. And then it just starts recording video.
Perfect.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea. Okay, I got one more thing here.
All right.
I know. I assume we don't dox the person that started this whole conversation, though.
Probably should.
I figure if we called him out, he might smile. But neither here nor there. So, a friend of ours was like, "Hey, there's a bunch of cameras here at this place," and then he proceeded to send us pictures of cameras.
Whenever he told you that before he sent them, you probably had a mental image of how many cameras there would be. Were there more or fewer cameras?
I mean, it was on par with what he was describing, which was like maybe some situation where they had a bunch of like photographers that they took out cameras and brought them back in and shot for like newsrooms or whatever, and they just had like a bunch of DSLRs.
I would say some of those tables reminded me of the Japanese camera stores, like just cameras everywhere.
It definitely had that feeling.
Like the one we walked in where they were like in the middle of unpacking stuff and you were stepping over boxes. It was kind of like that vibe.
Yeah, and they're like, am I supposed to be in here? I'm like, don't touch that. I'm like, we don't speak the same language. I don't know what you're telling me. So let me see. There was one camera, and I'm trying to remember what it was that he sent us, because he sent us a list of like a bunch of different cameras, and there was one particular one where I was like, I think that whatever compact digital cameras is the most expensive, and in all of these cameras.
Just because of the resurgence of
Mhm.
compact cameras.
Yeah, it was like you would think that all these DSLRs are going to be the most expensive, and I was
Mhm.
like, huh, weird. I feel like that God, it was like some Nikon whatever point and shoot. It's like that's definitely the most expensive on this list. So,
Mhm.
anyways, most predominant camera of all the photos he sent us was a Nikon D2Hs.
Which I had never heard of.
Right. And so I'm like, what's the deal with this camera? And I learned a few things. And I thought, in the spirit of cameras were better when cameras were worse, an official segment of this podcast,
Yes.
which I misname every time. I figured we could dive back into history.
It fits into the Nikon cast theme.
It is in the Nikon cast theme.
Yeah.
Because the D2 was before the D5.
Interesting.
Okay, so there's not even YouTube videos on this camera, man. I had to go back to like old DP reviews.
Mm-hmm. You're looking at like black and white, newspaper scans or something, trying to learn about this camera.
Sure, yeah. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the specs back then, it feels like it was before we decided which specs were important.
It's just kind of like how when we looked up the D5 a few minutes ago, we couldn't find the weight.
Mm-hmm. It's just like you're looking through the spec list and looking through the information that they provided on the sensor. It just feels like really early days of digital where
like it has pixels.
It's whenever you get you're looking at press releases and reviews and stuff of say like a Z6 Mark III. They're not telling you what type of transistors that they're using on the sensor.
Right.
For one, they're not using transistors because it's a CMOS sensor and they're basically printing the sensor.
Mm-hmm.
But still, that's just not a spec.
But it was back then.
Sure was. So the D2HS was a successor to the D2H. The D2H came out in 2003. The D2HS came out in 2005.
It's like when they had like the iPhone and the iPhone 4S.
And this one was a direct competitor to the Canon 1D,
okay,
which could shoot 8 frames per second at 4.1 megapixels. And so Nikon's like, we got to do something about that. We got to do something about Canon. Which one thing I learned is that I think the first full frame Canon 1D camera came out in like 2003, and Nikon didn't come out with a full frame camera until 2007.
Wow, that really does surprise me, actually.
Yeah, it was this huge gap. Canon had come out with 2 more full frame cameras, 2 more iterations on the 1D.
Wow.
Before Nikon met them in the market at full frame.
So this must be APS-C.
This is APS-C. Sorry, it's a DX crop.
Yeah, which is 1.5.
Still, it's just the same. And anyways, the EOS 1D at its 4.1 megapixels could shoot 8 frames per second for 20 photos. And so Nikon came out here and was like, well, what if we did 8 frames per second for 40 photos?
That's twice as much.
What? Man, you could shoot for freaking
5 seconds.
5 seconds. It's crazy. It's crazy. One of the really exciting, and I think the way that they put it in the review was something you have to see to believe. 80 millisecond viewfinder blackout. Unbelievable.
80
milliseconds of blackout.
It's pretty crazy.
Current cameras, no blackout.
Yep.
Literally zero.
Yep. But back then, I guess that was an impressive spec.
The next one, fastest of the time. Peak camera spec here. 37 milliseconds of shutter lag.
Honestly, this is why you need the burst. Because you can't time the shot with the shutter.
Daniel, do you know how fast the sensor on the Z6 Mark III reads?
I do not.
Like 9 milliseconds.
Yeah.
You could take 5 pictures? No. 3 pictures? 4 pictures. 9, 18, 27, 36. You could take 4 pictures in the time that it takes between pressing the shutter and taking one picture.
That's pretty crazy. But at the same time, like this is measuring something different than what.
That's not sensor read speed. That's
Yeah.
the time from when you press the shutter to when it starts reading the sensor.
I'm asking you, like, what do you think modern cameras are?
nothing. They don't even advertise the spec.
Yeah. So you just think it's like basically zero.
It's basically zero.
Yeah.
I think that you could probably shoot 5 pictures in the time that it takes for this thing to shoot 1 picture.
I mean, I guess it's just like
From a
it's a
modern
DSLR,
camera.
so it's got to flip the mirror. That takes time.
That was unbelievable. Like these 2 specs, which were like, you have to see to believe it. Best in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And just comparatively how far we've come. It makes it seem like a joke.
Yeah.
Wild. The Sun does have an 802.11b wireless card. They didn't say Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Wireless 802.11b.
I remember 802.11b. I think it was 11 megabits per second. Super fast.
Watch out. This thing's got Wi-Fi built in. Also 4.1 megapixels, which is already discussed. We didn't mention that it was F-mount, but obviously it's F-mount.
Mm-hmm.
It has a JFET LB cast sensor.
I have no idea what that is.
This is the most exciting part, Daniel. It's not CCD, and it's not CMOS.
I thought those were the only types of digital sensors.
This is the only, from what I can tell, one of the only cameras that Nikon released with this sensor. It took them 10 years to develop it.
Wow.
And then they immediately went to CMOS. But it's supposed to have like some benefit over CMOS on a noise front, which it doesn't. So maybe like a little better on the high end, but on the low end, it's more noisy comparatively.
Mm-hmm.
And it was supposed to be better at reading off than CCD. So it's kind of this like in between alternate option. It's 3 transistors instead of 4 transistors, comparing this to CMOS. And it uses like a different like cell amp. It's all very confusing.
Why are you being so suspiciously vague about that?
Because I don't know enough about like
You wrote
semiconductors and electronics.
You wrote words in here like MOSFETs, and then you say like an SMOS. I feel like you don't know what an SMOS is.
I don't know, Daniel.
Okay.
I literally just copied that in here.
Okay.
I did look up what a JFET is, and I've since forgotten what it was.
I think it stands for Joint Field Effect Transistor.
That is accurate.
Yep. And I think
which is different.
MOSFET is a metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor.
Yep. And why is a JFET better than a MOSFET?
I think they're just different. I'm kind of getting a little bit to the edge of my knowledge too, but a MOSFET is more of a, like, it's all like implemented basically like in silicon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a JFET is like, it's closer, it's farther out of that world in the sense of, I can't remember exactly how they're made, but because it is still silicon, like it is still a semiconductor. But I'm wondering if it's like lower noise or something, just because this was kind of earlier days of some of that stuff.
So I think the main reason that they were using this technology because it allowed parallel pixel readout, compared to like CCD, and so they could read out more off from all of those capacitors at once. The LB cast thing stands for lateral buried charge accumulator and sensor transistor array.
Ooh, fancy.
It's all so all at once. It's a junction field effect transmitter lateral buried charge accumulator sensing transistor array sensor.
So much.
Yep.
So wait a minute.
Put that in print.
If it's doing this in parallel, does that make it basically like a global sensor type situation?
I don't think it's quite like that. I don't think any of these are reading everything at once, but I think it could like maybe dump a row kind of thing, or dump more than a row, or do kind of parts. So it's a little bit like, and that was the cool thing about CCDs, was that it was like, here's a bunch of capacitors that you're like dumping the charge for, compared to CMOS, which is like reading line by line. And so like just different technologies, but it was like a whole different thing.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
I mean, it makes sense. Like in the earlier days of this stuff, there's more experimentation with different things. And then obviously over time, people are going to figure out like what works, what's easy, and what can we produce consistently and affordably, and what works well, and then everyone's kind of going to converge on the same things, and that's clearly what's basically happened.
I mean, it seems like the ability to use silicone to effectively print
not silicone. It's very different things.
Okay, Daniel.
Silicone is what your rubbery oven mitts are made out of.
So I'm adding an E, aren't I?
Yeah, or breast implants.
Sure. My breast implants
Yep.
are not the same thing as my computer chips.
That's right.
Silicon is like you could basically print transistors, right?
Yep.
It's like the exciting thing about the fact like the electrons
Mm-hmm.
can function as a switch, but solid state.
Yep.
Miraculous.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the reason why CMOS is so prevalent, is that you now have this consistent manufacturing technology.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, your old JFET Elbcast sensor has kind of gone the way of the dinosaur, but it was a big deal when it came out.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's probably about the same size as other APS-C cameras, but
Sure. True. But it was 4.1 megapixels.
that's true. Yeah.
Those megapixels are the size of grains of sand.
Yeah.
Enormous. Okay. I wanted you to guess what you think the ISO sensitivity of this camera is.
Well, we talked. I mean, it's pretty old school, so probably not as high as we would think. We talked earlier about the Nikon D5 that had like 3.8 million ISO. I doubt it's that high. I'm gonna guess 51,200.
That would be impressive. I believe the maximum ISO of the Nikon D2Hs is 1600 ISO.
Whoa. So you're gonna need a lot of light to take photos of this thing.
You need a little bit. I mean, I think this is the reason why people who have been shooting digital since the early 2000s have gotten really, really used to setting it to 100 and just never changing it.
Yeah.
We like set it to 100 and rip the dial off
because they didn't have much headroom.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, why would I ever shoot more? Like, it looks terrible. So, spoiler alert: all the photos of this camera look terrible. That's not true. So yeah, like 1600 ISO. It's just kind of okay. Only turned down to 200. Also, didn't even go down to 100.
That's not a very wide range.
Now, the thing with ISO is that it feels like it's not standardized.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen my fair share of YouTube videos and articles on the internet that you claim about ISO 3200 on a Sony is actually 1600 on a Fuji or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
30. It's like, oh, they're different numbers, and like you can't even just like use the same settings to compare cameras because the rate sensitivity on this one different than this one, and blah 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 blah. So in 2003, I don't know what they were doing. Maybe 1600 ISO is the same as 256,000 ISO.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true, but I mean, who knows?
Yeah. I mean, it does seem unlikely, but like I agree, it's not always apples to apples.
No, not exactly. Apple wasn't even making cameras back then.
Were they not?
Is that true?
I don't know if it's true. That may not be true.
iPod camera wasn't out in 2003.
Yeah. I don't know.
2005?
I thought they made some like oddball camera at one point.
Who knows? Okay. What do you suppose the maximum shutter speed on this camera is?
I'm going to guess 1/500.
1/8000.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
how
a
you're going to get
sports
enough
camera.
light to do that, but okay.
It's a sports camera, Daniel. Freaking shooting sports, man. Crank it. That's
pretty impressive. Pretty high.
Most current mirrorless cameras stop at 1/8000. That's not a spec that seems to have gone up in the last 20 years.
I mean,
they
I
just
guess
move you over
there's
to
a limit to like, what do you, why would you need more,
They move you over to electronic shutter mode, which is a downside of this camera. You can't shoot it with the curtain up.
Well, that's probably the case for most DSLRs.
There were some DSLRs that were CMOS at the time, which that was a feature.
Interesting.
You lock it up and shoot in electronic shutter mode.
Mm-hmm.
Not a thing for this one. Also, the minimum shutter speed, 30 seconds.
That's pretty long. I guess I don't, I probably have buffer limitation or something.
Yeah, not bad, but that has improved.
Yeah,
over time
for sure.
Pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the big improvements for this camera is they upgraded it from FireWire to USB 2.
My old camcorder from around this time, 2002-ish, was FireWire.
It feels like FireWire was a Mac spec. I never really saw a PC with FireWire.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were around here and there, but what was different about FireWire from USB is USB basically used the processor on the computer to deal with all the data, so like to move data into and out of the port. Whereas FireWire, it was a separate chip. Like there was like physically a separate chip on the motherboard that handled it. And
That's
so
interesting.
it was generally higher performance, and it wouldn't bog down your computer while it was like transferring stuff. So it's kind of like a higher end thing. And that's why you see it some, like you saw it some on some of these old cameras, because they were like, you're transferring all this, video or photo data, like you need a faster connection. And yeah, I think it was more common on Macs because, Apple probably had higher margins and a little bit easier to justify putting that in their computers.
Nah, it's good to know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really relevant now. I remember FireWire was like a big deal. It's like, oh man, this thing's got FireWire.
Yeah,
Look at this audio interface.
It's kind of good that it's gone, just because now we have fewer different ports and everything's simpler.
It's all Thunderbolty now. How much do you think it would cost to buy a DH2S on like eBay or something?
Oh man, it can't be that much. I'm gonna say like $150 if you can find one.
That seems about right. I found some broken ones that were in the order of like $50.
I mean, it could be a neat thing to have if you had a really large camera collection, but besides that weird sensor, it's mostly just kind of unremarkable.
The weird sensor is kind of the exciting thing. Oh, here's one that's 150. Here's one that's 85, 180, 70. Yeah, so I mean, like there's options out here. I feel like I would spend $50 to have this on a shelf.
Yeah, I could see that.
Mostly as like a bludgeoning device.
Yeah.
So
home defense weapon.
Exactly. All right, Daniel. This thing launched at $3,500.
Oh my gosh, it's so much money.
I have since deleted the inflation number so that hopefully you didn't see it.
No, I didn't.
Perfect.
So yeah, because when was this, like 2003 or something?
2003. How much? Oh, I should have deleted this too. How much do you think that is in today's money? Like, do you think that at $3,500, this being the flagship sports camera, do you think this is more or less expensive than the current flagship sports camera that Nikon sells?
It's definitely more. I mean, because money has, like, there's been a lot of inflation since then. I mean, I feel like nowadays this would be a $7,500 camera.
Maybe it would. You can get, once again, my search is coming up with Abe's of Maine. You can get a Z9 from B&H for $4,000.
It's pretty cheap. I mean, I'm
compared to $3,500 from 2003.
But I mean, if we're talking sports camera, I feel like Canon R1 would maybe be a good modern
which
comparison.
is like $6,000.
It's $6,800. Yeah.
I think this is about $6,500 in today's money.
Okay. So it's not quite double. But
$6,500 camera.
Yeah.
That has a 37-second shutter lag.
But hey, man, back then that was a leading spec.
So the comparison for this was the Canon 1D, which was full frame at the time.
That's a painful comparison.
It is a painful comparison. Whenever Nikon released their first full frame camera, it was the D3 at 12 megapixels.
Wow.
So it was pretty cool or whatever. When I was looking through this comparatively, Canon seems like they were way ahead in digital compared to Nikon. Like if you look at the Nikon D number line compared to the Canon number D line, the Canons are just like better spec-wise.
Yeah, for sure.
Like getting to full frame, like better, higher megapixel, just boy.
Yeah.
Nikon was a little behind the 8-ball for that first run.
I mean, I think they've closed the gap quite a bit, but even still, I still kind of feel like Canon is the more premium brand, between the two. Which is not to say if you're looking to spend $2,500, I'm not saying that the Canon is better. But I'm just saying, I think that Canon positions themselves as a high-end brand, and generally, like they have more expensive cameras, right? Like you can spend $6,800 on like a high-end Canon, whereas the Nikon will not cost that much.
Yeah, that's true. Nikon generally has tended to be cheaper. I think, I mean, they're still good cameras and very competitive. I would say that like the Z6 Mark III compared to the R6 Mark III right now, it's you'd be hard pressed to kind of pick between the two, and the Nikon's going to be substantially cheaper, like over $600 cheaper.
That's true.
It's, I don't know, I look at this and I think about how like this camera came out as, you know, maybe it's better for sports because you can take twice as many pictures in burst, but the burst rate isn't better. And Canon's over here offering a full frame version.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, boy, that's maybe a tough call. And then by the time that Nikon gets to the D3 with their little 12 megapixel full frame camera, Canon has a 21 megapixel full frame camera, and it's their third version of it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
they were way out in the lead at that point.
Yep. And it's like, yeah, sure, the Nikon can shoot 9 frames per second, but the 1DS Mark III is shooting 5 frames per second, and it was tough.
I do think that maybe at APS-C, it might have been a closer competition.
Yeah, for sure.
I got my Nikon DSLR in 2007, I think, and maybe 08. I think it was 07. And it was, you know, I got a low end. I got a Nikon D40, which is their low end APS-C DSLR. But I mean, I definitely did research, and I don't remember at the time what the Canon competitor was, but I mean, there were reasons I went with Nikon. I think a lot of it probably was price, because I mean, I was a college student and have a lot of money, but you know, it wasn't like, I didn't feel like I was buying like the, you know, weird off-brand camera, you know. So I think they were competitive at that lower end, but maybe it was just if you had unlimited budget and wanted the highest end thing, Canon, you know, was kind of leading that for a long time. Yeah,
for sure. And I mean, like maybe the D3 and the 1D aren't necessarily exact comparisons, because like a sport camera versus a, you know, studio camera kind of thing, and you know, like you get way better ISO range for like a Nikon D3. There's like reasons to pick one over the other, but I don't know. It's I think in 2003, it seems like I would be hard pressed to maybe pick a DH2S over a 1D. But like if you're if you're shooting sports and you need that 5 seconds of burst, that's like double the burst.
Well, man, that newsroom clearly went all in on those D2Hs, and they don't have Canons around there.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true. I'm actually curious, like how much did a Canon 1D cost at launch? Let's see. $6,000.
Yeah, so compared to the 3,500, that's a big increase.
Yeah, it's like literally twice as much. So you pay half the money, you're not getting full frame, but you're getting double the shots. Yeah. And I mean, if you're dealing with, like I said, this thing had the lowest blackout and the lowest shutter lag. And if you're dealing with those things, having like at least a 5 second burst is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
It's not like today where it's like, oh, I press the shutter and it's already been taking pictures for a second before like while I'm autofocusing it's taking pictures, compared to this where it's like, boy, did I press the shutter fast enough or soon enough in order to get over the lag and then start doing bursts.
Well, and now you can even do pre-capture.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It's actually saving those photos you're taking. And,
Yep. So I thought this was pretty cool. I thought that the fact that it had its own standalone sensor, the technology that's different than CCD and different than CMOS, made it maybe worth bringing up. And you know, this eventually did culminate in the D5, which we've already talked about as being the ultimate space camera.
The ultimate space camera. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, and also just kind of looking back at how different like the camera race was back then, in the sense of, you know, Nikon and Canon were obviously in different spots back then than they are now, and just the things that were leading specs is fun to look at, like the shutter lag and stuff, because you know, like you said, now that's just a total like non-issue. It was a big deal back then.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So I think that this thing, when it came out, weighed 2.6 pounds.
That's a lot.
It's less than a D5.
It's almost the same weight as my full frame 24-70.
Wild.
Yeah.
This thing's huge. Like just massive with the vertical grip and everything.
Mhm.
They don't really make, I mean, other than the R1, right? That one has an optional battery grip. It's not like built in, right?
That's how it is now with most of these types of cameras. The last one I remember that really had that built in was like the Canon 1DX series of cameras.
Yeah.
Those had that kind of style. I think that's kind of gone away though.
Man, it was
Maybe some of the GFX stuff kind of has it.
I think we need to bring it back. I think we need to bring back like giant cameras.
I will say I when I had the GH5, I got the battery grip for that, and it was kind of it was satisfying to have it on there. You know, it just gives it a little more heft that, you know, made it feel a little more stable, and it was nice if you were shooting vertical. So I get the appeal.
Yeah, just want more of that. I guess the 1DS is the sports version. The 1DS came out in 2003 and was 11 megapixels. That's all very exciting. Also full frame though. Man, I can't believe how long it took Nikon to get to full frame.
Yeah. Do you think it's because they weren't making their own sensors like Canon was?
I mean,
well, I guess they might have
They
been.
were, right? I mean, I think it was a while before Nikon switched off to Sony as making their
because if they
sensors.
made this weird technology, then I guess they did. So.
I'd be curious to know when Nikon switched to Sony sensors. That might be something to look up.
Mm-hmm.
I also am curious which Nikon cameras my dad had. I never remember which ones he had. It was always like,
well, you weren't really interested in cameras back then.
D80 or what have you.
I think he did have a D80 at one point, but I don't know if he had anything before that. Because your sister eventually got that D80 from him, which is why I remember that one.
Ah, she may still have that camera? Question mark?
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know. I don't know why you would know.
Yep.
She's just like, oh, you're just staying in contact with my sister. Oh, well, just talk to me about your camera situation.
Only for camera reasons. Just want to keep tabs on that whole thing. Yeah.
I think her last camera was a Z50 Mark I.
Okay.
Because we bought it for her to replace the D80.
Yeah, that was probably about time for that.
D80 was APS-C, right?
I think so.
DX.
Yeah, I think it was DX. But unlike my D40, the D80 had the autofocus motor built into it. Because that was a weird thing that
I
that
forgot
Nikon
about
did.
that.
Yeah. So, yeah, because Nikon did the thing where a lot of their lenses didn't have an autofocus motor, and it was built into the body instead. And there was like a little screw drive thing that autofocused the lens. And you had to get specific lenses if you wanted them to autofocus on the cheaper cameras, which was always annoying for me. I assume Canon didn't ever do that.
I forgot that was a thing. Now all lenses basically have it built into the lens. There's contacts on the body to drive the lens.
Yeah, like to electronically drive it
versus mechanically driving it.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
It's an interesting way to do things.
I don't know, man. I look at all of the 5Ds and like the cameras that Canon released, and it feels like there was a reason why Canon was the dominant manufacturer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think they kind of went unchecked until Sony really came on the scene, and Sony, I think, brought a lot of electronics prowess that like they just kind of took a different approach to cameras than Canon did. But and like I said, it's just kind of different now. Like I don't feel like Canon's like far and away the best anymore, like they were back then.
They're still the most dominant.
Yeah,
sell more cameras than anybody.
Yeah, they make the 12 best pocket, whatever the thing was, compact cameras.
That's true. They sure do. Yeah. It's Canon. If you were like, we're going to compare which camera company is like closest to like the Galactic Empire or whatever, it's Canon.
Think so?
Right. They have the Death Star and all that sort of stuff.
And
I mean, they're basically the Mercedes of camera companies.
How many more similar sorts of metaphors could you come up with here?
I'm just saying that, like, in Formula One, like Mercedes is the empire, and in camera culture, Canon is the empire, and therefore, Total Wolf and Canon are like the same thing.
That's it for the show today. Thanks for joining us, and if you liked it, tell a friend so they can check it out too. You can find out more about the show at www.cameragearpodcast.com, and you can find us on Twitter @CameraGearPod. We'll be back with more next week.